Hey, this is Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling with Platinum against Impact's Turning Point 2021. Look at that graphic for the Turning Point event. Plain Jane trash. Man, appearances count. You got to put somebody on this that's going to come up with some kind of theme. You're in Vegas now. There's things that you can do. I mean, if your presentation's just gonna be shit, and this has nothing to do with the pay-per-view, but I mean, man, in this day and age, with indie groups able to put out more notably great flyers and posters, man, a little bit of time on Turning Point, man. As it is, the book is dictated in a big way by the cover, because this pay-per-view was of low significance. It was a series of what would have been considered pretty good Impact episodes, sort of sandwiched together. That's what a lot of it felt like. We opened with Finn Juice against Rohit Raju and Raj Singh. Um, it's perfectly serviceable match, um, but the result was never in doubt. Finn Juice is going to win this match against Raju and Singh. This is a match that they could have had on Impact. It felt really weird to have on a bigger show format, and it was meh. Um, I mean, they were advertising though, Crazy Steven Tarus as the opponents, so something happened. So they had to make a switch at the last moment, but um, it's weird that Raju wasn't, let's say, competing against Rich Swann. I don't know, man. I get that something probably went down. You can also not have a match. That can happen. Digital Media Championship match: Jordan Grace against Chelsea Green. Um, Chelsea Green gives a good fight here, but at the end of the day, Jordan Grace delivers the Grace Driver for the pinfall victory. It's a solid match, and a couple of the near falls are actually very, very good, and they have pretty good chemistry. So no complaints here. Chris Sabin against Ace Austin. Of course, they're going to have a really good match, and they did. And they pile up the wins for Chris Sabin. He wins with a cradle shock for the pinfall. So Ace Austin kind of slips down the card a little bit, and that's okay too. I'll be curious to see what they come up with it for him to do. They had a 15-minute bout, and it was really, really great. And all the more reason they could have got away with less matches, in my opinion. Rich Swann against VSK, who again is replacing Brian Myers, so I'm not sure what's happening here. And the match is serviceable, but again, you could have not had a match, or you could have had Finn Juice in some combination of Rich Swann and whoever. I don't know, man. Like, I just really this match, it didn't seem to serve. It didn't seem to be pay-per-view worthy. The match was okay, because Rich Swann is not going to have a bad match, and VSK is always going to show out. But it is what it is. Matt Cardona against W. Morrissey. Matt Cardona, again, continues his hot streak. Not necessarily of wins, he did not win the match, but being able to pull great matches out of people in any situation conceivably. I just can't believe the run that this guy's had. It's really stunningly great. Morrissey does win here, but it's the first match that I would consider to be very good on the card. Besides Ace Austin, of course, but that one's almost expected. This one, it did wonders for Morrissey, and if it's true his contract is up, this was a good showcase for him to perhaps get signed elsewhere or to get re-signed. Knockouts Tag Team Championship: Decay against Inspiration. Gimmick heavy, story heavy, but very good in that regard. And definitely the inspiration are trying to show out a little bit here. And Decay is a good team to do that with. Havoc feels inspired as of late, and Rosemary, I've always thought the world of, and is always pretty solid. So pretty decent match here. But again, the pay-per-view, it feels like, okay, and another match, and another match, and another match. Those graphics really wash everybody out too. Let me just say that. The graphics for Turning Point, when you put their pictures on it, just make the thing look very indie. And I think they can do better. They need a viewpoint. That's the word that I love. Vision and viewpoint, right? X Division Championship match: Trey Miguel and Steve Macklin. They've been building this story for a while, and Laredo Kid kind of thrown in for shits and giggles, honestly. Um, So Macklin um, delivers Mayhem for All on the Laredo Kid. But Miguel interrupts the pinfall with the Meteor for the title, and then Matt Striker and D'Lo Brown, in a way to have a different kind of ending for a match. They talk about how Macklin's shoulder was off the mat. Um, so I liked this. It was different. It was very Impact as far as the triple threat and those guys going all over the place with it. And Macklin's a different kind of competitor in the X division. I didn't begrudge this at all. And I think on a shorter card, this match would have really stood out as something even better. Just I know I'm harping on this point, but that's what this is about. This isn't just me recapping a show. It's me telling you how things could be improved for the aspiring bookers and wrestlers out there. Knockouts Championship match, Mickey James versus Mercedes Martinez. Mercedes Martinez always delivers the goods, and I think continuing to have Mickey James as the top works. As long as they keep finding things for Mercedes Martinez to do. This match really, really worked for me. This is the third one that I would put in the pretty good match category that really assisted the card instead of needing to be assisted by the card. So, really great stuff. Impact Tag Title match, Good Brothers versus Bullet Club. Boy, for all the build that this thing got, uh, it felt uninspired. The Good Brothers feel uninspired. And this match happens, and it mattered not a whit. Metal Mayhem for the Impact World title. This was great. This was the definition of you knew Moose was not going to lose, but Eddie Edwards made you believe that he could win. And they just beat the crap out of each other. This match is honestly worth checking out on its own. So at least Turning Point finishes incredibly strong.